What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. All right, so it is Taco Tuesday. I hope all your taco dreams come true. I'm down here getting some materials and things for the red brick house so we can get our work on here and get some nice stuff done and continue to progress on getting this place finished. In my mind, I'm sitting here thinking about the Dallas Cowboys, and basically there's not a lot we can do as far as adding firepower now. The Cowboys, by hook or crook, I think it was stupid of them to not look at adding some more people. They allegedly tried to add a linebacker. I don't know that Leighton Vander Esch is ever going to come back this season or if he's ever going to be viable. You know, when you start having neck issues over and over again, and as a linebacker, a guy that you got to put your head across the body, that's not a good scenario. The reality is there's not a lot of guys on the street that are going to be able to help you. So what you have to do is make the best of what you have now by scheming and play calling, misdirection and things like that. Hiding your weaknesses is what you have to do. The biggest problem I see right now that I think that the Cowboys can do something about is the running game. Let's be clear here. I think, Mike McCarthy, it's kind of sad that the thing that he said he wants to do the most is the thing that we do the worst. The passing game is going and it's working right now. Dak Prescott, is on pace for about 4,200 yards, about 30 TDs, and about 8 or 9 interceptions. That's good. That's actually really good number-wise. But the running game is falling far behind, and we're going to have to rely on passing the ball more. And the problem with passing the ball more is the more you go to the well and the more you're unbalanced, the more defenses can counteract it. You need to have both of those guys ideally balanced. And I think the problem with the running game is not something that we can't make better. Part of this is inconsistency with the offensive line. We've had so many different lineups, and we've had a lot of younger players that have been in there. Also, too, Terrence Steele is clearly not the player that he was before the injury. He is still recovering, and the Cowboys finally admitted it so. Well, he's still recovering. He'll get better. Well, unfortunately, you look at somebody like the Jets, whose offensive line is putrid. If they could do something to fix their offensive line, they'd be doing it right now, but there's nothing you can do right now. People aren't giving up great offensive linemen. And the guys on the streets are on the street because they're not that good of players. So what you need to do is you probably need to do more of a zone blocking, which is a little quicker hitting. I don't know if they'll change that philosophy or not on that. But the thing I think that's killed them more than anything else is not using people the right way. Tony Pollard is not an every down running back. Okay? Zeke Elliott in his younger years was that kind of running back. Problem is you only have so many hits that you can take in your body. Tony Pollard has always been a little bit more on the fragile side. He relies on speed, making people miss. But when you put him constantly trying to run him like a battering ram, his body is not strong enough to take a lot of those hits. That doesn't mean you can't use him at all, ever. But when you're going back-to-back plays in the middle, you're wearing him down and you're reducing the speed that he has, which ultimately is his game. You've gone from 5.2 yards a carry, where he was one of the best running backs in football, to now 3.9 because you're constantly overloading him and putting him in the middle of the field. You need to get him in space. You need to keep him with about 15 touches a game. And that means you need to actually hit him more screen passes outside. The Cowboys need to develop their screen game to be like an elongated handoff. Do you follow what I'm saying here? Instead of giving him the ball, handing it off and saying, run up the middle, you do a quick screen pass on the outside. Give Tony Pollard the opportunity to use his speed, which is his strength, to make plays. Short yardage. You need to start developing some of these other guys. Running backs, their careers are not long. getting a guy young and on the field, getting a guy like a Hunter Lupke, okay, who is young, strong, fresh legs, and is used to pounding the middle. You need to start putting, even if it's only like 5 plays. And the same thing with Rico Dowdle. Take those plays off of Tony Pollard's back. And what you will get is a more dynamic Tony Pollard that hopefully won't have the wheels fall off by the time playoffs get here. And that's what you got to start looking at now, is getting yourself to get to the finish line here with the strongest team that you can. And if you continue to do what you're doing with Tony Pollard, I can guarantee you he's not going to be there come playoff time. And with us not able to rush the ball for 100 yards is not good by the time we get to playoffs. So you must fix your running game by hook or by crook. Now, one of the things that will help your running game, now that you're able to start opening up the field, now that you're able to pass the ball down deeper, now that you're getting Brandon Cooks involved and stuff, now that your passing game is not just, we're just dinking and dunking, you're stretching the field. And the more you stretch the field, that's going to help open up things where they're not going to be able to put 8 men in the box. If they put 8 men in the box, you kill them deep. And if they don't put 8 men in the box, then you start using 12 personnel, which ultimately is, I think, the real solution. Because here's the great thing about 12 personnel. 12 personnel is 2 tight ends. Right now, you're seeing Jake Ferguson beginning to take that step to be a really good tight end. He's not an elite tight end, not yet, but you see him beginning to progress from the first couple of games where he had 2 or 3 catches to now having 4 to 7. Having, games where he's got 77, 95 yards and things like that, where he's becoming a threat. Having him there to block, which will help out a guy like Terrence Steele, or to be a pass catcher. When you can start doing these things, then the defense doesn't know, is Jake Ferguson a blocker, or is he going to go ahead and be a receiver? That's where you start playing these games. Schoonmaker, you're beginning to see him work into the lineup a little bit more. Unfortunately, he got tackled before he got the pass there. It would have been a game-winning touchdown had he been 4 inches deeper in his route. But you're beginning to see him. If he can be, because he is a much better blocker than receiver, if you can start getting those 2 guys on the field, I'll be quite honest with you, I'd rather see those 2 guys on the field than maybe having a Michael Gallup. Because you can do things like having Tony Pollard in the backfield, right? Having, maybe Schoonmaker as an H-back. So you look like a traditional running play. All of a sudden shift, have Tony Pollard go out wide. Slide out, Jake Ferguson. Now all of a sudden I got 5 receivers and they're in 8 men in the box. And you will eat them up. And these are things that Mike McCarthy, as a head coach, needs to start doing to help fixing the running game and also to keep defenses off balance. Again, the offense is beginning to pick up some momentum, starting to get some yards, starting to get some points and things, and looking better. Now, the only problem we had this week was, the offense was playing better. We had problems with special teams, Here it is, our kicker kicks the ball out of bounds, give him the first down on the 40-yard line, giving him only 60 yards to go to pay dirt. Here we have, guy go out there, face mask or, hands to the face on the kickoff. Again, giving him a first down with the ball on the 40-yard line. We didn't have special teams play like we've had in other games where they were a difference maker for your team as opposed to against your team. And your defense, hey, you gave up 28 points. And you're going against a great team. You went against a great team, but we can't allow them, even though they were getting short fields, without having turnovers, getting 28 points. All of these things that we have right now are things that we can do some stuff with to be better. And hopefully we can continue to start correcting these things so by the time we get to playoffs, we're a better team than where we are now. I am not one. I got all these trolls out here telling me how much we suck, same old Cowboys and this, that, and the other. Listen, we're 5-3. We got 3 very winnable games coming up. We could then face the Eagles after they go through a gauntlet at 8-3, and we could be in a much better position than we are right now. So I'm not ready to go ahead and trash my team, trash my coach. There's plenty of off-season to do that. Right now, I'm behind them boys. All right, good people. I'm here at Home Depot. Got to get some rollers and some wood and some insulation so we can start doing some other things here at the Red Brick House. I appreciate y'all. Peace.